Hello and welcome to Stan's 360 World. I am here today at Fort Point in San Francisco, California. This is a World War II fort that was built here at the entrance to San Francisco Bay. You can see up over the top of us is the Golden Gate Bridge. Check out some of my other videos for that one. But what we have here is in 1770, the area was being explored over land. In 72, the first ships entered into the bay, and in 75, the Russians and others were coming down the coast, and the Mexicans wanted to protect the area, so they started to set up a military establishment here on this port and this entrance to the port. You can see through the fence here is the Pacific Ocean, and to the right is the bay. So then 1770, California became a state, and in 1850, boy, I've got to get my dates right, 1850, California became a state, and about 1854, the military decided they needed to build an installment here. It took them 6 years to complete. 1861, they installed the first gun installments, and then it was fully staffed with about 500 in 1862. And so we're going to go ahead and walk through, and I'll kind of give you some details. This is a park, so they do have docents that you can ask along the way, and it is recommended that you donate to the park. Off to the side here, they do have some brochures, so grab a brochure and it'll give you some more details on the building as you go. I do have one in my pocket. I may refer to it. This is the main courtyard. Again, this is built as a Civil War fort. Most of these ports, entryways, they had cannons in them. They've all been sealed off for protection purposes now, but each one of these housed a gun. And so from where we're standing, roughly where the flag is north direction from us, and so to my left is the Pacific Ocean, and then to my right is the bay. So let's give you a little walk around. I'm going to turn around, and we're going to go into the visitor center, and we're going to walk through a little bit of this. So they do have this here. This shows the rifle slits as we come in. If there were an attack on the main entrance, the riflemen can come up here and shoot down at people attacking. This fortification was never breached, and to the best of my knowledge, I haven't heard that that was ever needed to be used for any real purpose. Oh, pardon me. Sorry. And so we're going to come down here. Now this is the powder magazine. We're going to come in here, and I'm going to turn the camera, and we're going to go to the left and walk through. Now this is an example of where the munitions were brought to, and there was the progression here shows of going from cannonballs into missiles. There's also a video in here, and uniforms. Take some time, sit down and watch the video. It's a really good, informative video. Also in here is some explanation of the Spanish era, early San Francisco. Some of my favorite pictures of San Francisco are here as well. I actually have these on my wall at home. So now we're going to go down this corridor that we came in. We came in through that door there on the right. I'll let you scoot ahead a little bit. There we go. And we're going to stop here. You can kind of pan over, take a peek into the powder magazine, but we're going to continue on and enter in here. Now, these are representations of the powder kegs. There's no actual powder in this magazine, but you could see the size of these powder kegs. If any of these were to catch on fire, there would be a massive explosion. So you notice the arching of the roof to prevent that. There's also some ventilation in here. And then on either side, going from the room that we were in, there's these little pass-throughs that allow one barrel at a time to be passed through here, to be filled in that room, stored in this room, and then as we come through on this other side here, it would be passed on out to the guns. So we'll go around now and we'll kind of see that side. So we're going to go back to the hallway here and we're going to make a left. There we go. So we're going to walk down this hallway. And this the other side of that port that we were just looking at. There we go. See down there. Back into the powder room. And then through this door leads you out to where some of the cannons were, their emplacements were. You can see some of the large cannonballs stored here. None of these cannons are original to the fort. It didn't become a national park until the 1920s, I believe. I might be wrong on that date. But it was completely cleared out and gutted of its weapons. And so all of these were brought back at a later point and were from other locations as well. We're going to go up the west tower here. These are kind of difficult stairs to do. So if you hear me breathing heavy, especially by the end of this walkthrough, you'll understand why. Here we have some of the rooms on the second floor. A young lady here. What is this room?
This room is dedicated to the stewards who worked in the fort. The stewards would kind of, well, on top of basic medical attention, they would also do things like manage the ventilation, lighting, heating of the entire fort. You know, sometimes they'd even go to some of the farther forts to help the soldiers there. With very limited supplies, all the while keeping a very calm demeanor to not, you know, getting patients more than they needed to be.
So this is an example of a Civil War hospital and that space. Now there is a corridor. If you spun the camera around, you might have seen down this corridor. This is one of my favorite spots to take a picture of. It almost looks like an optical illusion, but it actually is a real physical view. This room here has some pictures of people that work around and on the bridge itself that is above us at this point. And so there are quite a few pictures in here dedicated to them. All of these rooms were officers' rooms or various different use rooms during the time of the fort. I'm not going to spend too much time in each of them because I really encourage you to come back and check this out for yourself.
This is an example of what the rooms would have looked like.
Yeah, so this would be, this looks like this would be set up as a captain's room. One common thing is these rooms are not very warm. They do have a fireplace for each room, but there is a breeze. These windows and doors are not very tightly sealed. And so sickness was very real. It's also very damp here at the fort most days.
This one mainly focuses on the lighthouse and how the light works.
And the reason for the lighthouse, there's a good thing here of shipwrecks. Of these lighthouses that are posted on here, the main one that still works is Point Bonita, is still an active lighthouse. Some of the others are still there, but the Point Bonita is a very important, still used lighthouse in the area.
This room and the next focus on segregation in the military force. So definitely need to check that out. A lot of local stories posted up there.
Yeah, a lot of great information on the segregation. There were a lot of officers that did not get the credit that they were due just because they were men of color. and also women of color, or just women. And then this last room here is the kitchen, and one of the things that I like to point out here is this here is one of the menus during the 1800s of what would be served to the officers. Now keep in mind, this fort was not in use until the mid-1800s, 1862. So this is an earlier, but just an example of what meals would be and what rations would be. And then just outside the kitchen here would have been the latrines and a cleaning area. But that would have been the officers' quarters, as the sign here on my right shows. Now we're coming around, we're on the east side of the fort. There is a extension that goes out a little bit here to allow for multiple different directions of attack. At different times there's been different displays. At one point in time there was a display for the exploratorium in here. Since there is a hole in the wall here, I'm going to do something really interesting, and I'm going to take the camera and put it out as far as I can get it so you can get a view out there. That's pretty cool. Never thought of doing that. So that's that side. This side here, it's really dark, but to my right would fire directly into the bay. And then this port here, see if you can see out there, fires to the Marin headlands. We'll see more of that in just a moment. Now the center column, I know it's really dark, but the center column also stored ammunition. That's why it's such a hefty brick wall here. You can see across the way, the staircase that I originally went up, we've come around the building. So the ammunitions would be stored in this hallway here, and then here you're able to go up the stairs to the top of the fort. Again, this is a very tight staircase, hard to maneuver, especially on cold days. I'm already losing my breath, and that's only one flight. I have another flight of stairs here to go. Hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy, because it is a dizzy staircase. I do recommend coming up this staircase. The view is impressive from here, but also this little landing provides you some protection from the wind and a nice view of the bridge. As soon as I step out, you may notice that the wind does pick up some. Where that family is there is one of my favorite spots to view. But we'll come here and take a look. As I catch my breath, I'll point out some sights. Let's see, I'll change perspectives on the camera, so in that way when I point it makes a little bit more sense. Back over here is Hawk Point. We should be doing a video up there soon. That may be already posted. Don't know what order I'm going to do this in. Obviously we've got the Golden Gate Bridge going over the top. And then behind me here we have Angel Island, one of the many islands in the bay. Alcatraz. And then Yerba Buena Island with Treasure Island, the man-made landfill coming off of it. Back at the city, you know, you can see the boats. There's a gray line that comes out, not the one with the rows of windows, but the one after that is Pier 39. And then the one with the windows is Fort Mason. I'm still winded, I'm out of shape. So then you have Fort Mason. Over from Fort Mason, you'll see this little pinky-shaped building. That's Coit Tower. You can see it's behind another building right now, but you can see the top of the Transamerica building. The rounded dome is the Palace of Fine Arts, and the tall buildings in the background is the financial district. The buildings, the red roof buildings to the right of the Palace of Fine Arts, that is the Presidio. So when San Francisco was set up in the 1770s, it was set up with a Presidio, which is a mission, with a Presidio, a mission, and a Pueblo was the goal. San Francisco had a Presidio and the mission on the other side, but the Pueblo never really took place. They started to get the Pueblo, but it just became San Francisco. It became too popular too fast. The purpose of the Presidio is for defense, the purpose of the mission is for religion, and the purpose of the Pueblo is for the populace to provide food and sustenance for the military defense as well as the religious. San Jose is another area that was slated to be set up. San Jose was a completed Pueblo and mission, but never a Presidio. So that is my quick tour of Fort Point. I hope you enjoyed it. One other thing that I didn't point out is off in the distance there is the New Bay Bridge on the other side of Yerba Buena Island. It's a beautiful day, so hopefully I'll be able to get some more videos laid out for you here. Thank you for watching Stan's 360 World and 360 Travel. Check out down in the right side there to subscribe to this channel or any of the Stan's 360 channels. And come back soon. Leave your comments. Where else would you like me to post here in the Bay Area? Thanks so much. Have a great day.